Hello, this is Steve Powers. Today I am going to walk through my process for character design. I'm going to use graphite as my design choice. It's actually my go-to, something that I actually started with, but it's very versatile. It's inexpensive. You can get it anywhere. You can use a basic Bic number 2 or any kind of pencil. In this case, I am using a kneaded eraser on watercolor paper. As with most art, it starts with inspiration, and then you move on to exploration. In this case, in the design, that's exactly what I do. I explore my imagination. But where this started from was just some simple doodles with a pen and that I had added value to with the graphite. Doesn't look like much, and sometimes you won't see it until you happen to leave it out on your desk and you look at it and you see it in different places. In this case, I saw it on its side and I said, wow, that looks like a character. And you can see here where it's a character that is holding something in its mouth. It looks like a dog-shaped quadruped. I'm thinking, just by looking at it, it looks like a dog with a toy in its mouth. In this case, it reminded me of that due to the large dog that we have in our house who loves to play with his toys, and he's big enough to be a monster in the sense that he could go through the wall. Make it a little easier for you to see what I'm looking at. This is the head outlined in red, and then the toy in blue, and of course the combined of the design that I'm going to start with. From this point, I am going to go into time lapse and discuss what's going through my mind and things that I will take from my life to add to these design decisions. The way I like to start is with the basic outline. In this case, I want to work on the focal point, this being the head. Now, um, I do prefer to work again from that basic outline. You can build a scene with primitives and then come back, get the shapes just right, and then start adding in the detail and starting adding in the value. In this case, the only thing that I really have to work with is the profile of the head. It's actually a more of a third um, quarter or three-quarter view more than just a profile. And it's not all there. There's no detail in my inspiration. What I saw was a big happy dog playing with a toy. In this case, doing fantasy, I'm going to make him a monster. I mean, 83-pound hound dog is jumping around like he's a little puppy. Is kind of monstrous, and he has the capacity to actually break walls and knock over furniture and still be cute. So, if you're on my Facebook page, or one of them anyways, uh, you will see it's turned into what I call the Camo and Ben uh, channel because it's 90% of it, 95% of it, it's all about the dog and the kid sleeping together, playing together. Um, so, anyways, I digress. This is not about that, but I do take things from my life. And as designers, it makes it makes it easier for other people to relate to you if you're taking it and relate to your artwork if you do use aspects from your life. Um, we all do. It's we all have these questions when we see uh, a design, that we see a character. And especially in this case, I'm trying to think, well, what kind of character is he? Happy? Is he sad? Of course, this one is happy. He's playing with a toy. Um, and then is he, you have to think, is he mean? Is he nice? In this case, he's probably going to be nice. But what's the size of him? I have to think about that. And at this point, I'm not thinking purpose. Okay, I'm not thinking, is he a primary character? Is he a secondary character or tertiary character? Um, I'm not even. I'm going with even the layout. Is this going to be in landscape or portrait? Very basic decisions at this point. Here I am. You can see with my hands up. I'm going with a portrait feel to it. I'm thinking I don't need the rest of the canvas to the right or to the left. I happen to start him in the middle to give it up closer to the viewer than say in the mid ground, because this is a design sketch for a character. And this character, again, I am thinking about it. Is he going to be hairy? He's going to be scaly. He's supposed to be kind of a lizard. He's supposed to be kind of like a horse. Um, what get the shape down, and then think about where you're going. In this case, right here, I am changing his pose to a sitting pose. I like the pose better. Um, the only thing I'm probably going to have to design now are the forelegs, and I'm not sure how I want that. Do I want him muscular? Do I want him soft? Again, is he going to have hair? Now I'm putting in these stripes and making them instead of just graphics like a zebra would have stripes. I'm thinking more on maybe it's a camel. Maybe these are humps. Maybe this is a hard, I'm not sure what camel humps are made out of, but they seem like a harder material. Um, Maybe like a rhino's snout or horn. The horn is, I believe, made of hair. And if that's the case, well, these humps could be made of hair too. So they're hard. Somebody could hold on to them. Maybe another character could ride it. And if that's the case, now I'm thinking, well, this could be a big creature. Those are the things you have to think about. Um, and to portray that to the viewer, you have to think about things in scale. Now, this, he's not going to have any scale. There's not going to be another character in here. It's not even going to be in a real scene. Um, I might put a pseudo scene together when I do paint him. But this right now is just a line sketch with some minimal value. And that the reason I did this on watercolor paper is so I could add the watercolors without enlarging him or transferring him over digitally or or by hand with a light box. Now for me, if I could do it all in one shot, I'd love to. Um, this paper, this is 25% cotton, it's a hot press, so it's nice and smooth, holds graphite well, and I can remove the graphite very well as long as I don't dig into the paper. I won't have any problem with the tooth. Now, some people will, and I will as well. You can seal these too, but I'm not going to seal this if I'm going to put paint over it. What I might do is take a picture of it or scan it to have my value sketch as a reference, but I'm going to destroy the true value sketch by painting over it. So I'm not going to have two pieces of artwork at the end of this. I'm going to have one. And in this case, it's a design sketch. Um, Later on, I will, and I've done this many times, I'll take these simple individual designs, these characters, and say, hey, where can I use him? Or I'll be doing a story and say, hey, I have another character I can put in here for this illustration. So I go back and I will use these. They don't have to be primary. Matter of fact, sometimes they don't even have to be more than a simple 10-minute sketch. As long as you have that idea to capture that characteristics of um, that characteristics of that character, but characteristics of that idea that you have of a design. Write it down, get it down. That's what a sketchbook is for, really, is to put your ideas down. And some of them are successes, a lot of them are failures, some of them fall in between. And some of those I've looked at my sketchbooks and I go, I'll just erase that and start over. Or, hey, I'll work on that and I'll go back to it. I'll do a little here and I'll do a little there. Then I'll add something later on. And I've had some that I've kept going back to over, a couple months. I'll do about 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there. I did an old man like that. He just started with a simple face, and then I built out the surrounding, just like I'm doing here. I keep going back. I keep taking something away. I put the value down. I take it away. I'm adding a little bit more dark. I'm keep refining the uh, refining the profile, the line work of him. See, I'm still working out, okay, what's this going to be? Is going to be a profile. And this is what it is. Um, and it looks like he's probably going to be hairy, and he's going to have those humps on there. So again, I am refining some here, and I changed the nostrils here as well because up high or down low does make a difference on what this character may do. I mean, does he have a snout that he can smell like a dog would have him? Does he have a snout that can burrow into the ground like a pig might have? They're very similar, and he could be both if he's that big. He probably has some kind of formidable claws, or he could have hooves. We don't know. Is he more like a camel in that sense? But since his eyes are up front, he's most likely a predator. He'll eat meat. Um, Hopefully, he likes just chewing on that toy, though. There's not much that else I'm really going to do here. I'm going to clean it up a little bit here. See how I'm taking in the erasers and this. I don't know if I've mentioned this, but the simple pencil here is just a Pentel. It's a .5. I believe they have 2B lead in this, and they cost a couple bucks. I do get them on Amazon. I can find them, most things there on Amazon. I have links to everything that I've used in this video, along with a few other things as well beneath the tutorial. But the graphite helps quite a bit. You can see, I mean, I don't have to sharpen my pencil here. Um, right now, I am adjusting those forelegs. I know I was going to because they weren't really defined. Don't really care for the shoulder. I think that one hump is in the way there. It's not placed where it should be. But these are the things that, just come. It's just if it doesn't work, take it out. I've done it where I've gotten the whole body, and yeah, it can be a waste of time. It can be even frustrating, but I've gone it to the point where I've done that whole body and I just erase the whole thing and start over and take it in a different direction. That is what this or design sketches are good for. It's it's not just taking that inspiration saying, "Oh, it's got to be like this." No, you take that inspiration and then you explore your imagination from that inspiration. And I mean, I find it fun. I find it. I'm quite happy when I've come up with something that I like, but I find the whole process fun. There's no true way of failing unless you stop trying. And in this case, I did not have a predetermined um, outlook or endpoint for this design. I wasn't sure which way it was going, so how can I really fail? I mean, I waste some time. Maybe I come up with something in this design. I might not use this design ever, but there's something in this design. Maybe these humps. I might use them in another design. Maybe that's something that I really like. Okay. Maybe I like the place the head. Maybe I could use that on something else. But I wouldn't have come up with these design features without trying. So I do enjoy doing that, doing this. And this is something you can do, uh, sitting in front of the TV. You don't have to record it. You don't have to share it. Your sketchbook is your sketchbook. I think you should have one like a journal and try to do something in it every day or at least every other day. It's good practice for you. Um, but it's also a way to come back and pull those ideas uh, or use them as resources for other projects. See what you can come up with. Like right now here, I am looking at this thing, this toy. It's just a tear toy, is what I look at it as, patched together um, with different fabrics patched together, and you can't really see it, but in my head, I'm going to color that with multiple colors. It's going to be greens and orange and red, something like patchwork. So I'm You've seen that on blankets. I have quite a few blankets like that, you know. These quilts are patchwork. Well, something else that you take from something that we all see, and anybody with a dog understands this personality, whether they're big dogs or small dogs. And you can go to the um, pet store and find a toy that's made out of rope and long, and he chews on it after a while. Pretty soon it's going to be nasty, and it's going to be, ragged, and he's going to love it, and you can't throw it out because it's his favorite, and he just enjoys beating the heck out of it. Well, I'm going to continue noodling this for a little bit longer, but this is pretty much as far as I'm going to take it before I start adding color. So thank you for joining me today, and hopefully you uh, enjoyed yourself and learned something. I'll see you next time.